Please welcome Vice President and General Manager EMEA, Tanuja Randuri.
Good morning, mahaba, and welcome to the AWS Middle East, North Africa and Turkey Summit. It's an absolute honor to have so many, I believe thousands of our customers and partners in the room with us here today. It's a very special time to be together. This is our first customer summit in Dubai since 2019, and it shows you our continued commitment to this region. And there is just so much energy and excitement in this region. I can feel it right here in the room, and I hope you will feel it throughout the day. These summits are an incredible opportunity for us to get to know each other, to network, to share stories, best practices, and of course, to build great relationships. We at AWS are very much a learning culture, and these conferences are meant to be about learning here. And so I hope you will take advantage of all of the marvelous sessions and speakers that we have planned, including, of course, our partner expo hall. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of welcoming our partners, over 500 of them, to the Partner Summit, and many of them will be here, so I hope you will have a chance to meet with them. Now, we live in times of just unprecedented change. Generative AI is the largest tech transformation since the cloud and possibly the internet. And the societal benefits and the business benefits are going to astound us. It's been marvelous for us to see the energy with which you have embraced this technology in this region. We just did a study with a company called Technology Advisory Services. And what it shows is that accelerated cloud and AI adoption in this region could unlock an additional $733 billion of economic value by 2033. Now that's big. And I think it's time for us to figure out together how we will partner to ensure that you have all the capabilities that you require, the technology and the people and the talent to be able to embrace this technology at scale. And we are here for you. We have been invested in this region, and we will continue to invest in this region. Thank you for being here. We have a wonderful time planned for you. And with that, let me welcome onto the stage Yasser Hassan, who is our Managing Director for Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey. Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's so exciting to see how many customers, partners, and builders in the room. It's a time for us to celebrate our achievement together, our innovation in the region, our investment in the region, and I want to thank you all for the commitment and the trust for the last period. Today, and I will walk you today around the AWS investment and the growth and the investment in the region. So with that, we prepared for you today a very incredible agenda that is filled with 80+ sessions, and 45 partners will support you outside and with the networking. Don't forget the networking part today. We have noticed 4 pillars and 4 mega trends happening in Middle East and North Africa around us. Number 1, it's a digital-first and mobile economy. And we've seen how much this is growing every day. It's a $70 billion economy that is growing every day. And it's fueled with the cloud innovation that we're supporting as Amazon Web Services. Second, it's the AI opportunity that we've seen growing every day with the support of the government and customers and partners. And it's almost achieving $320 billion by 2025. We just announced Amazon Q. It's a tool for our developer, not only for coding, for debugging, for documentation, for Gen AI, but it's also helping people to have apps with no code. It's a great cutting-edge technology. I encourage you to try it and test it. Third, it's a startup vibrant ecosystem around us. And this is growing very fast. And we've noticed this in 2023, our startup ecosystem in Middle East, North Africa, and Turkey is hitting $3 billion. Can you imagine this? It's growing very, very fast in this region. This will create and support and fuel an economy that will hit 1.5 times the existing economy. The technology is creating 1.5 times of the existing economy. And this will happen only with partnership that we're doing with the customers and partner in this region. Having said that, Amazon Web Services keep investing in the global innovation. With 33 regions that we're having, that is consisting of 105 availability zones. And we're committed to have more 6 regions to come with 18 availability zones. This is not limited to worldwide global innovation that will allow our customer to innovate fast and be everywhere at day 0, but also the commitment is in this region with the 3 regions that is coming with 9 availability zones. And our latest announcement was in Saudi for $5.3 billion. This is the announcement that we did in March for $5.3 billion. Our investment in Saudi is not limited to infrastructure. We're committed to the Saudi for 2 innovation centers that will support the Saudi talent for cutting-edge technology. And this came after our commitment to UAE. We're in United Arab Emirates. We're supporting the economy with $11 billion GDP impact in 10 years with our technology and innovation and support we're doing in the region. And this comes after the investment in Bahrain, which was the first region that we announced in 2019, and more to come. We're not limited to this. I'm sure you've noticed in the announcement that we just announced in Egypt a cloud front that will support 100 million population to have a faster API and application for running their system. And we just announced this couple of weeks ago. And we announced also earlier of the year the cloud front in Turkey and more announcement to come. This investment, like what Tanuja mentioned, shows the commitment of Amazon Web Service to Middle East and Africa region. Our investment in this region is not limited to infrastructure only. And we know the talent gap that we have in the region needs a lot of support between the government, the customers, and the technology. And that's why we keep investing in this region for talents. We invested in almost 390,000 talent readiness, and we'll keep investing. In Saudi Arabia, we had Amazon Academy to train 30,000 talent, including, in addition to this, 4,000 women in technology, with an initiative that will support the Saudi women in technology to come with a cloud practitioner training to support the Saudi community to come to the cutting-edge technology. Second, in UAE, we introduced to the market Qudwatik program. It's a program for 12 weeks to support women in technology to be a cloud ready. Third, in Turkey, we introduced a UNATEM program that was to support the displaced people after the crisis and make sure that they are skilled as well. This is partially small part of our investment in talent readiness, and we'll keep investing in talent because this is the future of this generation. This is the future of this region. Many of our customers trusted us for this. Across industries, from enterprise to SMB to startup. And I want to highlight a couple of success stories. From TII, where they trusted us for their Falcon 2, and I want to thank them for this trust, with 11 billion multi-model, multi-language that has been announced a couple of weeks ago. Thank you so much, TII, and you will hear them on a stage. Thank you so much. Fly Dubai. It's a critical digital transformation. It's a trust for almost 10 years. We're working with Fly Dubai from 2015, and you will hear Fly Dubai leadership on stage. Enjoy the digital transformation journey with them. Really thank you for the trust. It is a critical system transformation, and you trust AWS for this critical system transformation. Thank you, Fly Dubai. Abdel Latif Jameel It's a Saudi conglomerate that is having 80 years of legacy business from health, automotive, renewable energy, and many more. And with this 80 years of legacy, they trusted AWS as a partner of choice. Thank you so much, Abdul Latif Jamil. Thank you so much for every single customer that is trusting us for their digital transformation, and we're committing to support them moving forward. And thank you to every customer in the room. Our global challenge that we're facing, and we hear this question, is coming to sustainability, because our data center needs to be part of this global challenge. That's why Amazon Web Services is committed to be zero carbon footprint by 2040, but more, 100% renewable energy by 2025, and water positive by 2030. That's our commitment to the global. I want to encourage you and ask you today to enjoy the session. It's an 80+ session, 20 labs and workshops. Make sure that you test the cutting-edge technology. There is 45 partners outside. Enjoy the partner ecosystem. Make sure that you touch the technology firsthand and enjoy the day. With that, I want to thank our partner, the global partner, the Emerald partner, the Platinum partner. Thank you, our partner. Your passion wouldn't make it without you. Thank you so much for this. Thank you, our gold, silver, and bronze and ATP partner. We wouldn't be in the summit without you. Thank you so much, our partner ecosystem. It's a great journey. We're committed for it together. I want to ask you all to visit the expo hall. It's a great hall that we built it for you. Partner talks, innovation center, and don't forget, I'm sure you've seen it today and you've seen it when you're coming, F1 and game day. It's a lot of fun. I promise you for this. So with that, I want to thank you everyone here for the great commitment, trust, and I want to introduce our global VP for AWS data centers, Kevin Miller, to the stage. Thank you.
Thanks, Yasser. Well, thank you, Yasser. It is so great to be here and to hear about all of the momentum and the innovation that's happening across the Middle East, Northern Africa, and in Turkey. To briefly introduce myself, I am proud to have been part of AWS for the last 17 years. And over the years, I've built a number of our services, including our virtual private cloud, Direct Connect, and then I was recently the general manager for Amazon S3. Now I lead our global data center organization, and we are committed and focused every day on delivering all of the capacity that underpins all of AWS services. I find it absolutely astonishing seeing all of the ideas and projects that were just, thoughts a few years ago, but are now really taking shape. A decade ago, we could only dream about some of these ideas. Today, they're not just ideas, but they are the reality. But how have we gotten here, and what can it tell us about where we're going? Throughout history, technology breakthroughs have turned the impossible into everyday realities. If you go back to the Industrial Revolution, it gave us interchangeable parts, and that brought us to the rise of planes, trains, automobiles, all forms of transportation. And this really changed how we traveled and produced goods, and it made the world more connected and more productive. And if we fast forward, and along the way, electricity was discovered, giving us the ability to harness and transmit energy. And then came the digital revolution, where innovations like transistors and operational amplifiers created a big bang of electronics that have led to some life-changing technologies like cell phones and satellites and laptops. And this has really revolutionized communication, making technology just a normal part of our everyday life. And then came the information age, made possible by the internet, by cloud computing, and advances in data storage that have made the world feel more connected and even smaller still. And each of these innovations, these inflection points that we talked about, catalyzed decades of innovation and new ideas that just could never have happened previous to them. Like the internet, making it possible for Amazon to build a retail business that is now serving hundreds of millions of customers around the world. And then, of course, cloud computing, where AWS was a pioneer so many years ago, and we've helped countless customers build and scale their businesses from anywhere in the world. In the early days of Amazon.com, we experienced all of the challenges of provisioning and managing infrastructure. And we really set out to revolutionize IT infrastructure with AWS so that everyone had access to secure, reliable, cost-effective, and cutting-edge technology. We were a pioneer in the cloud computing area, giving programmatic access to compute, storage, databases, and networking, and eliminating the need to build and manage data centers and pay up front for your peak demand. I like to joke, your job to previously run data centers is now my job to run data centers. So at this point, though, we continue innovating, and we now have more than 200 services that span 33 regions around the world. And each of our services is built to remove the barriers of innovation, like AWS Lambda, that runs your code in response to events and automatically manages all of the compute resources, making it the fastest way that you can take an idea and turn it into a modern production serverless application. Or something like the Amazon OpenSearch service that just recently launched zero ETL integration with Amazon S3. So now you can perform complex queries across operational log data without having to move any data. The technology we've built in this era has enabled customers to really transform the world around us. Take Netflix as an example, who's really changed the way we experience entertainment, using AWS's compute, storage, and a global footprint to stream content to now more than 190 countries. Or Moderna, that was able to complete the sequence for the mRNA COVID-19 vaccine in just 2 days using machine learning on AWS, and then had the first clinical batch released just 25 days later. Previously, this took years. And the cloud is just now setting us up to explore this next era. I think we're really on the precipice of a big tectonic shift, and that is a new era of technology brought forth by advancements in generative AI. The capabilities of this new era are enabling us to now interpret and interact with data in new and astounding ways. Now, there are a lot of news reports and claims out there about generative AI, but it's not just something that can generate poetry or fanciful pictures. It can really bring deep reasoning into applications and therefore transform your customers' experiences. Imagine adding features to your applications that require human-like reasoning. It's now possible. And I believe that this transformation is again going to transform the way businesses and customers interact with our products and services. As builders, generative AI is giving us a new software component, the ability to reason. It stands to just revolutionize the way we approach some of our biggest challenges in the world today across nearly every industry. And we're already starting to see some of this take shape. For example, I travel around the world. We have 33 regions, and I spend a lot of time on the road visiting my teams. And I'm always on the lookout for the best places to eat and the things to see. And if you look at a customer like Lonely Planet, they've been guiding travelers around the world for 50 years. But now they're using generative AI on AWS to help people book incredible trips and really customize their itineraries. They're using Anthropic's Claude model through Amazon Bedrock, and they've reduced their cost of generating these itineraries by 80%. We're also seeing customers apply this technology to solve some of the world's hardest problems. For example, OpenFold is a nonprofit AI research and development consortium that's developing open source software tools for biology and drug discovery. They have unveiled some groundbreaking AI models for biology, integrating a large language model with 3D protein structure generation. These models are 4 to 10 times faster than the conventional methods, potentially revolutionizing large-scale screening and drug development. The OpenFold Consortium, which has support from AWS, has made these tools widely accessible, which really spotlights a bright future for AI's role in biology going forward. Now, just as previous technical eras have brought substantial improvements to the world around us, I think the exact same is going to happen with AI. And it's not just about making tasks more efficient. We're able to really automate some very complex tasks that used to require human thinking and reasoning. And at AWS, we're breaking through technology barriers to make this technology accessible. Because that's what we've done for 17 years, constantly innovating on your behalf to making cutting-edge technology available and easy to use. And that allows you to generate and deliver a customer experience that is indistinguishable from magic. An example of this in Turkey is Insider, who is now pioneering the integration of AI in marketing and transforming how marketing teams operate. So please join me in welcoming Hande Çilinger and see how Insider is harnessing the power of AWS AI services to innovate.
Insider is the world's most progressive technology company. We are building the leading AI platform for marketing and CX to help brands deliver a unique experience per person. We have defied all odds.
I'm doing great. Hande, thank you so much for having me. It's wonderful to be with you.
As one of the only woman-founded, woman-led billion-dollar companies in deep tech, we have proven anything is possible. And we're just getting started.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dubai. And yes, we are just getting started about AI, about the way actually we are going to leverage generative AI technologies. I think there is a great definition of Douglas Adams about the technology. He says that the things that invented before we were born can be counted as the natural order, part of the natural order of the world. Think about a fork, think about a socks. Is it an invention? No, because they all invented before we were born. If there is something invented between the ages of, well, we are at our ages of 15 to 35, and then it can be seen as an opportunity. Because we can invest in this, we can actually invest in our career, in this new invention. But if there is something being invented while we are older than 35, then it can be counted or it can be seen as a risk or something new, something disrupting the new world order. And this is, I think, AI. This is something new. Everyone is talking about this. It's going to transform the technology industry entirely, but I think no one yet knows that what to do really with the AI. Today, I'm going to talk about how we are leveraging the AI, because we are already doing something with AI in the last 4 to 5 years. But as you can imagine, it's a little bit difficult to talk about AI just in 8 minutes, and given the fact that 1 minute already passed. But I can tell you that we have seen 4 very much disruptive era in technology industry. The first one was social media. The second one was cloud, and this is why AWS type companies raised. And of course, there was an age of mobile, which still continues. Now this is the new age for generative AI, and it is going to be so disruptive, it's going to transform everything. So we need to take it seriously. And Insider, this story, I think already breaks the status quo, because we are seeing all the technology companies, or most of the technology companies, raise from the west part of the world and becomes global. But Insider, as one of the very few stories, raised from the east part of the world and already become global. We are a tech company, already exist in 26 different countries, backed by world's biggest investors, including Sequoia Capital. And currently, we disrupt the legacy of the marketing clouds and leaving behind all of our competitors from US and from the other countries. From day one, we have been built as a #1 AI native platform for individualized and cross-channel marketing experiences. And we have great partners like AWS. I'm going to talk about the function and also our partnership with AWS in a bit. But I can tell you that currently we are the only solution in the world which is both leader in personalization and multi-channel marketing technologies, and again, currently leaving behind our competitors in the world, deep-pocketed competitors, including Salesforce, including Adobe, including Oracle. And again, this is a company raised from this part of the world. I think we should be all proud. Thank you. By the way, I forgot to introduce myself. Sorry for that. This is Hande, one of the co-founders and CEO of Insider, so it's also a woman-led technology company. So, based on our customer comments, we are also leaving behind our competitors. We're loved by our customers. And with a trusted partners like AWS, we have again broken the status quo to create a new standard in the market and currently leaving behind the legacy marketing clouds, which are difficult to operate, difficult to integrate, and their technologies are pretty much outdated. Because in technology, as you all know, there are 10 to 12 years of cycles. And in 10 years, everything changes. When we think about these legacy marketing clouds, they did few acquisitions in the past, 10 years ago, 12 years ago, and then those technologies now are pretty much outdated. They should be doing something about this, or they are going to be out of this business. So that's why new generation companies, tech companies, software companies like us are disrupting the industry. So at Insider, what we do, we have envisioned a world where we personalize every touch point of the end users in e-commerce. We wanted to create a personalized and meaningful experiences for the end users because everyone would like to see a website per person, mobile app per person. So that's why after our integrations, we actually create a unique experience for each user, which is, at the end of the day, building a growth and profitability for the e-commerce companies, and this is what we do. And if we think about, like, all the centers or all the countries that we are exporting our technology in the moment, Japan, Korea, Malaysia, Singapore, UK, US, Brazil can be counted as some of them, and I'm pretty much here today proud to say that it's all powered by AWS across the globe, and then I believe that AWS is the driving force behind the growth of Insider, like, data centers, and also helping us to grow the Fortune 500 companies that can be counted as our clients. And currently, all around the world, we are serving to 1,200 enterprise clients, backed by AWS again, who can be counted as a very much trusted partner for an insider-type AI company. Thank you. So, numbers are just numbers, but sometimes it's important to give the emphasis through numbers to understand what type of data we are talking about. So, just to put this in this context, we currently activate experiences for 6 billion plus active users profiles, and we are serving trillions of notifications every day. And as you can imagine, to do this in real time really requires extreme stability and also processing power. And this is why we are relying on AWS. And currently, in our, or from hosting our application in the cloud, we are one of the also very much early adapters of some of the AWS technologies, including AWS Lambda, Aurora, EKS, and I think AWS robust structure helping insiders to manage all of these personalization experiences at an unprecedented scale, speed, and reliability. Well, we briefly talk about the AI. Again, it's going to be the most and generative AI. It's going to be the most disruptive, I think, era of the software technologies, and it's going to transform everything. And over the last decades, we have been very much early adopters of the generative AI, and we have built the world's most comprehensive AI solution for customer experience. We are currently blending under this technology and software, analytics, conversational, and generative AI. And this is what we call Series AI. So what we do with Series AI is we actually predict user behaviors, taking the actions accordingly for the users on real time. And of course, the strong foundations of this technology is, again, based on some of the special AWS products, including Bedrock, including SageMaker, and this is how we have rapidly also expanded of our Series AI platform. And maybe an example, a good example of AI in action can be given through an e-commerce experience of a customer. When a customer visits an online store, imagine that you are a customer, you are visiting an online store. Our predictive audience AI models anticipate that she or he is close to make a purchase, and accordingly, we are starting our recommendations engine in a real-time basis, and then we predict that what she's going to buy, what will be the range of this purchase, and how much she's going to spend. And when we predict this real time, we create a invisible but at the same time visible to her a recommendation content where we are actually triggering her purchase and maybe increase the basket size. So although it sounds like simple, it's not, because at the end of the day, doing this every day with more than 14 billion predictions, and also with more than maybe 100 profiles in more than 26 different countries is not easy. So that's why actually we need the technologies like Amazon AWS Bedrock in order to be pretty much fast and also having a success in doing this in real time. After giving this example, maybe it's actually good to talk about the generative and conversational AI aspects of the things, because the communication with the end user was always one-sided, but with the generative AI and also conversational AI technologies, what we are building is we create two-way conversations with the end users, and this is how actually we are keeping them engaged, resolving queries, and also ultimately building a long-lasting relationship with the end user. That's why last year also, we have acquired a conversational commerce company called Mind Behind from the region. And actually, this is how ecosystems grows, right? We could acquire a company maybe from Europe, maybe from US, but we decided to acquire another company in the region in order to build a value for our ecosystem. So, AI is mostly about also automation. It doesn't mean that it's going to replace human conscious or human efforts, but just machines, simple or basic machines, it's going to optimize the human effort. And this is why we claim that through our series AI platform, we are going to optimize 60% of our marketers, digital marketers' time and efforts, and they will be able to create a omni-channel campaign or omni-channel experience for their users just in 10 minutes, just in 8 minutes. I think this is a new chapter for productivity, new chapter for revolution, new chapter for predicting the future behaviors of the users, and new chapter for the whole software industry. I would want to share more examples, talk about maybe feature of Gen AI and what we are doing for the whole world's global brands, because this is now the first time a company from this region serving the world's big brands like Coca-Cola, Apple. We have lots of stories, but maybe in the next summit, next time. Thank you very much for listening to me. Have a great sessions.
Thank you, Handi. It is so great hearing the story of how Insider is using Gen AI. In 2023, I saw a lot of customers really grappling with generative AI. And we could tell that there was potential, and the customers began experimenting. But it was hard to take an experimental proof of concept and put that into production. So we really began innovating and built new services to help you make this leap. We're making it ever easier to build and scale generative AI, customized for your data and your use cases and customers. When we think about this, we like to think about it in 3 different layers. At the bottom layer, we have our infrastructure that's used to train foundation models and large language models and then run them in production. The middle layer provides you with access to all of the tools and models you need to build and launch generative AI applications. And then at the top layer, we have Amazon-built applications that use the foundation and large language models so that you can quickly use Gen AI and don't need to have specialized knowledge. With Gen AI, there's really 2 main types of workloads. There's a training and inference. And training is required to create and improve the foundation models by learning patterns from large amounts of training data. While inference then uses those models to generate the output, such as text, images, or videos. And while many of you may not directly be building foundation models, we have deep investment at this layer to improve the services that we can offer at the higher levels. So one of those tools at the lower levels is SageMaker, which makes it easy for customers to build and train models with all of the workflows to really make that very simple. Now, these workloads consume a huge amount of compute to execute. And so we're making generative AI use cases economical and feasible by enabling training and inference on incredibly performant, cost-effective infrastructure that's really purpose-built for AI. And this includes the latest in NVIDIA GPUs, such as the H100. Now, GPU-based EC2 instances are built on all of the performant foundation of AWS services and networking, and allow you to use either Amazon-provided or open-source frameworks to orchestrate and then manage all of those instances. Using things like EFA networking, you're able to provision ultra clusters of up to 20,000 GPUs to support even the largest of workloads. And all of these innovations really come together to make AWS the best place to run GPUs in the cloud. And when NVIDIA wanted to build the world's fastest GPU supercomputer, they came and talked to us. And Project Saba is now a collaboration between NVIDIA and AWS that will feature over 20,000 Grace Blackwell 200 superchips and our 4th generation EFA networking that provides up to 800 gigabit per second per superchip. And this supercluster is going to be capable of processing a massive 414 exaflops of AI. We've also built our own experience running AI workloads and have used that to develop custom silicon. And this is an investment we've made over the past 5 years in our custom silicon that allows us to significantly reduce the cost of ML training and inference. So for example, with AWS Trainium, you can reduce the cost to train by up to 50% using our TRN1 chips. Or with AWS Inferentia, you can reduce the cost by up to 40% compared to similar Amazon EC2 instances. So my team is actually responsible for AWS's sustainability goals, including our climate pledge to be net zero carbon by 2040, as well as all of our work to deliver renewable energy to power our operations. And we like to say that the cleanest watt is the watt that's never used. And that's what really has me so excited about AWS's custom silicon, because it reduces the energy required to run training and inference workloads. Now, when customers start building with generative AI, they often have questions about what models to use, or how they can move quickly enough to get these into production, or how do they keep their data secure and private. And that's why we are investing so heavily in the middle layer of this stack. And it's why we built our Amazon Bedrock service. Bedrock is the easiest way to build and scale generative AI applications using large language models and other foundation models. And today we're seeing customers in virtually every industry use Bedrock to reinvent their customer experiences as well as their products and bring AI really into the heart of business. So Amazon Bedrock is a fully managed service that gives you the choice of high-performing foundation models from leading AI companies like AI21 Labs, Anthropic, Cohere, Meta, Mistral AI, Stability AI, and then Amazon's own model. And all of this is done behind a single API. Now, we truly think that customer choice is very important, and that not one model is going to be the only model that's ever used. We think we're in such the early days of AI, and we're seeing new models come out almost weekly. And that's why you need the flexibility to run different models and use different models at different times for different use cases. And that's why Bedrock, one of the features we built in Bedrock, is the ability to have model evaluation so that you can look at it and make informed choices based on your workload and what model you're going to choose to use. Now, whatever model you choose, you need generative AI to be deployed in a safe, trustworthy, and responsible fashion. That is really our North Star that guided us to deliver guardrails for Amazon Bedrock, which is a way that you can easily implement the safeguards you need for your Gen AI applications that are really customized to your environment and to your policies. Now, another critical component in building Gen AI applications that is really tailored to your business and your workloads is, of course, your data. Because data really is your differentiator. And to make the most of your data, that data needs to be up to date and accurate and easily discoverable and available no matter where it resides. And the first step in achieving this, really, is to make sure that your data is in the cloud. So I want to highlight one customer that I think really understands the power of their data, and that's Adobe. Let's take a look.
Sorry, we're picking up your bracelets on the mic.
You could Gen AI them out.
For decades at Adobe, we've been pushing technology to help creative professionals create content.
The pace of innovation right now is really high. AWS has been instrumental in helping us scale up to meet our needs.
Firefly is our family of foundational generative models. We've built our training and inference infrastructure on top of Amazon EC2 and Amazon S3. We use EFA technology for fast machine-to-machine communication and fleets of NVIDIA B4, B5 that enable us to train large models very fast.
Generative AI is an ingredient in a creator's creative process. Creators can ideate with this new generative technology and take that further within the applications that they use.
And doing all of those things in seconds. More than 5 billion images have been generated in the last 11 months. We wouldn't have been able to navigate that growth without the help from AWS.
And there's so much more to come. Expanding our family of foundational models and maturing those capabilities.
That's the future, embracing this rapid innovation. It's the new digital literacy. It's required for any company these days.
Can't wait to see what our customers are going to do with that.
Now, I've spent a lot of time over the years helping customers drive digital transformation in the cloud. And really, the key to those transformation is always data. Because I think almost every modern business is really a data business. And now we're having that same conversation about how to take all of that data and use it with generative AI. And across really all types of use cases, what we're really finding is that a strong data foundation that includes a comprehensive and integrated set of services, as well as all the tools to govern access to the data and the end-to-end data workflow, now has to include generative AI. So think of generative AI applications as a new application type that really sit on top of an existing strong foundation for your data. And that means that you want to plug in all of your existing data sources, like using S3 data lakes or operational databases. And you want to be able to use all of the data building blocks that you're familiar with. And that gives you the ability to take your data, your high quality enterprise data, and customize it with AI. And Amazon Bedrock offers you a complete set of capabilities to help create these kinds of applications using the data that's relevant to your business. So there's capabilities in Bedrock like fine-tuning, or what we call retrieval augmented generation, and agents that really help then execute tasks using your enterprise systems and your data sources. Now at today's summit, you can explore all of the different methods, and I'm going to share an example a little bit later about implementing retrieval augmented generation. On top of all this, at AWS, security and privacy is absolutely our top priority. It's been in our DNA since day one, and we've woven it into every service that we build, including Bedrock. Your data is never used for training. And when you fine-tune models, we create private and secure containers that are only accessible to you. And then we ensure that data is secure throughout the data transmission using end-to-end encryption, as well as supporting a number of certifications for Bedrock that you can use to rely on. Our goal with Bedrock is to make generative AI accessible and straightforward for all customers to use. And you can expect in Bedrock the same types of APIs, SDKs, and security features that we have in other AWS services. So just like you're used to with S3, EC2, or RDS, Bedrock has built-in enterprise-grade features to keep your data secure, as well as capabilities like identity and access management, CloudTrail logging, and data perimeters. All of that is in Bedrock today. Over the years, you've used AWS Service to modernize and evolve your enterprise systems. And you can now use generative AI on AWS to have the same kind of transformative effect. So to tell us a little bit more about how the Technology Innovation Institute has built on AWS and is leveraging large language models to advance technology and AI, please join me in welcoming to the stage Chief Scientific AI Advisor, Marwan Deba.
Good morning, everybody. Extremely pleased to be here and especially share with you the journey in building one of the most largest language model open source called Falcon that we built here in the UAE. So during this time, I'm going to share with you the vision and the things that we've been working. My name is Marwan Deba. I'm Chief Scientific AI Advisor at the Technology Innovation Institute. The TII, the Technology Innovation Institute, is one of the largest applied research centers here in the UAE. It has more than 1,200 researchers, fully PhD, dedicated and working in the priority sectors of the UAE. It's under the Advanced Technology Research Council, which is a council which has been put into place by the Abu Dhabi government, and basically part of this transformation of the UAE from an oil-based economy towards a knowledge-based economy. The different researchers at the Technology Innovation Institutes are working on 10 research centers, which are related and translate to those priority sectors that I was talking about just now. This goes from advanced materials, AI and digital science, autonomous robotics, biotechnology, cryptography, you have directed energy, you have propulsion and space, You have also quantum, renewable, and sustainable energy, and also, which is very important for us, also secure systems. This is quite important because, as all you know, AI needs data. And the different centers, of course, have this capability of bringing that data for us to work on. The AI and Digital Science Center has a special flavor. It has special flavors because it has two missions. The first mission is, of course, building the platforms and the capability for these different centers to thrive and build up basically on their capability, and that capability is based on the data that they're handling. And the second mission, of course, is to make breakthrough research, breakthrough, of course, progress in the AI realm. And that breakthrough research, we're going to talk about it right now. One of the things that we started 2 years ago is to embrace the generative AI realm before ChatGPT around 2021. And that work was done hand in hand at the beginning with AWS, and we're quite happy from that collaboration and how far it has been ongoing for us in that journey in building basically the series of what we call Falcon. Falcon was released basically in 2023 in 2 series. The first series was in March, where we built the Falcon 40 billion parameter model. It's an open source large language model, multilingual capability, text only. It was trained on 384 GPUs A100 and based on training with 1 trillion tokens. A couple of months afterwards, in September 2023, we continued our success story and we released the Falcon 180 billion parameters, a huge size. That was trained basically on 4,000 A100 GPUs, which is also quite huge, and building a data set with 3.5 trillion tokens. The success story continued also a couple of weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, we released the Falcon 2 series. And as you know, this year is the year of small models. The Falcon 2 series corresponds to models that we're building which are quite smaller, 11B, so that you can use it and run it on 1 GPU only, and that's very important for us. It translates with 3 capabilities. First, our commitment to serving the community and the open source community. Second is adding new multilingual capabilities. And the third one, which has been extremely important for our community, is what we call multimodality, bringing vision capability to this model. As of today, Falcon 2 11B within the small models is top ranked. It beats Llama 3 7B and is at the same realm and performance as Gemini. So we're quite happy with the outstanding work that the teams have been doing, and there's going to be some new announcements which are going to be released. Now, this has not come like that. Hard work from the teams. The first one, of course, is building and understanding that data and clean data is key in building these models. And that was disruptive in the way we built that. We, of course, had a good experience in building a previous model called Noor in Arabic, and the refined web data set, building up with 3.5 trillion tokens, has been released to the community, and we're seeing now models being built on that, and we're extremely happy. The second step also is the computing framework. As you know, when you start running a model on so many GPUs, it's like taking somebody to the moon. There's a lot of challenges to be built, and we've been working on a lot of tricks to be able to sustain, of course, on the training that we could do in a reasonable time. And you have here all the kind of features that we've been playing around to make that happen. Now, what I want to share with you is the next steps. Where are we going? What are our thoughts in the UAE in terms of going forward, and how we also want to embrace the open source community by building a new type of mechanism called a foundation to support the work that we're doing. The first thing that automatically happens to many of you is that we're seeing a lot of discrepancies in the kind of benchmarks and evaluation of these models. There's a bit of discrepancy in the sense that, first, how do you evaluate these models? Today, you have, of course, 2 options, either model-based evaluation or human-based evaluation. But even if you come up with that, we're seeing a big discrepancy on how the customers are using with respect to the pre-trained foundational models. The pre-trained foundational models are mostly based on predicting the next word, the next token, the next sentence, the next image. Whereas on the downstream task use, it's totally other cases that we're seeing on how they're using. And so there's a need to better steer these models, refine them so that they are applied to the classical and use cases that people are using within our community. And this is the kind of work that we have engaged. We have brought up, of course, a company called AI71 to build up on top of that in terms of how to do that. And of course, the techniques which are being used today are either based on what we call supervised fine-tuning or reinforcement learning. But we're going also and engaging in making these techniques much better. Second step also is our will to continue the success story with the Falcon. And first of all, of course, we continue our work on reinforcement learning human feedback techniques to match basically the Claude ChatGPT performance that everybody's talking about. Adding also multimodality, which go broader with video and all the multimodalities that you can think about. And the last one, of course, is engaging in extreme scale type of models that we're building, which are beyond the 100,000, basically, petaflops per day. To do that, we realized quite rapidly that we cannot do it on our own. We need to build a community that embraces Falcon and start working with us, and so we can support them. And supporting a community translates a lot to providing them the environment to work in that domain. That environment is computing. And so, in February, in the World Government Summit, the UE has made a commitment to build up a Falcon Foundation with more than $300 million, which are committed to build up basically community working on Falcon and on open source. Open source is going to be the place here in the UAE. We're very happy with that, and we're going to be engaged in building an open source community here, which will shine across the world. This, of course, comes with the commitment of the leadership, and we're very thankful by the wisdom and the vision that the leadership had in embracing basically large language model at the beginning of the story and continuing in investing in the realm of open source with two things which are very important. The Falcon Foundation wants to democratize LLM. We realized quite rapidly we are here in the Middle East, not a lot of people can afford basically building large language model. We need to democratize and support all the good initiatives. The second thing also, which is important, is we want to build this knowledge economy here. So we want to ensure that we can build a model with great performance, open source, to ensure business continuity where we have startups which can embrace Falcon and start building on top of that. Giving you more information, I'm extremely happy to present you this today. I want you also to embrace Falcon. If you want to have more information, you go on our website called falconfoundation.ai, and you can learn more about our initiatives that we're building here in the UAE. Thank you again for your attention.
Thank you, Marwan, for sharing your insights and experiences. You know, examples like TII really inspire me to see what customers are creating with these capabilities. Many of our customers want to take advantage of AI without having to build full applications. They just want to be able to take their enterprise data and integrate it into an AI application that get all of the advantages of these LLM and foundation models quickly and easily, but without the need for a lot of machine learning expertise. For this, we've developed Amazon Q, which is our Gen AI-powered assistant that's really tailored to your business. Amazon Q is built with security and privacy in mind right from the start, making it easier for you to use generative AI safely. And Amazon Q has multiple areas of expertise to meet the different needs of different users and roles across your business. And since many of you here, though, are about developing code or developers, let's focus a little bit on what it can do for you as a developer. Amazon Q can really transform the way you build at every step of the development lifecycle. And we're embedding Q in the places that you work, ready to assist you in the AWS Management Console and the documentation, the developer environment, your IDE, and in team chat rooms like in Slack. So let's take a look at how we can build with generative AI and Q. So let's imagine that you're a developer working for a big pharmaceutical company. Now, this company has a research and development team that does a lot of work around new drug discovery and development, and they also repurpose existing drugs and identify biomarkers. One of the team's biggest challenges is quickly identifying new areas of research and assessing the quality and relevance of new academic papers. The team currently uses a portal that's written in Java to submit and review the research papers. But these documents are lacking some important metadata, like summaries and tags, that allow us to easily categorize and search. So with all of the talk about generative AI, you're asking yourself, well, how can I use that to solve this problem? You can easily implement this new functionality by creating a Lambda function that interacts with Bedrock to summarize, add tags, and append other useful metadata to our documents. And then you can update your Java application to then call that Lambda function. Now, you may not be an AI expert, but luckily, Bedrock makes it really easy to add generative AI capabilities using its unified AI. So you decide to use the Amazon Titan Text Express model because it provides a good balance of speed and efficiency. So to get started, you ask Q in your IDE, how do I call a Titan Text Express model in Bedrock? Now, Q provides you with step-by-step instructions then on how to implement the Bedrock code, along with an explanation of what that code does. So even if you've never worked with Bedrock before, Q makes it super easy for you to understand what each step does and quickly get familiar with the Bedrock API. Now, as you can see, it only takes a few lines of code to invoke a model in Bedrock. And so you may want to experiment with a different model, such as the Anthropic Claude 3 model, and see whether it can do a better job in summarizing and tagging your documents. So you use Q again, and you ask it, how do I call the Claude 3 Sonnet model on Bedrock? And of course, Q then generates the code that you need. You can then select the code and easily add it to your function by pressing the Insert at Cursor button. And now you can use QDeveloper to get your Lambda function and your handler code that's going to be triggered by the Java application that you have. And for this, you can type what you want just using natural language. And the QDeveloper comes back within a couple of seconds with a few code suggestions to help you implement the Lambda handler. OK, so now that we have the Lambda code complete, we now need to go and update our Java application. And as a new developer in the team, you may not be familiar with this code, and you may need to do some exploring to understand how the application works and where you want to add the new logic. To save time and quickly get up to speed, you can use Q in your IDE and just ask it, what does this project do? And then Q goes and analyzes the code and gives you an explanation of the current project. So then we're going to use Q to help write the code that calls your Lambda function, and then figure out where all in your application that code needs to be updated to call that. So Q is able to do this. It produces the necessary code, and then also goes and identifies the ideal locations to add the new code. So now with all of the code implemented, the next step is to go into the AWS console and get testing, test the Lambda function. Because of course, we want to make sure that everything is going to work as we expect. Now, unfortunately, once we go in and execute the code, we see that the function has actually failed. It's throwing an error, and we don't expect that. Now, instead of losing a lot of time trying to figure out exactly what caused the error, here we can use Q in the console to help you quickly troubleshoot and resolve the problem. So in the console, we press the Troubleshoot with Amazon Q button. And within a few seconds, Q goes in and figures it out and tells us that the problem is a missing permission. And so then we can even ask Q to provide the steps to fix the issue. OK, so now we've got this working, and we've got all our issues resolved, and the code is now deployed into production. So now our portal can provide us with accurate, complete, and up-to-date information so that our research team can move more efficiently. Now, of course, we could stop there. But we're not going to, because we have a lot of data sitting in S3, and we know that we have an opportunity to build an even better portal and give our customers and our users even more value. So to take advantage of all the existing data we have, we're going to go ahead and configure Bedrock with a knowledge base that's linked to the S3 bucket to invoke retrieval augmented generation. So with this, anytime we invoke the Bedrock API, we'll receive links to related documents that can then give us even more accurate and relevant results. And with Bedrock, we make it very easy to add retrieval augmented generation. All we're going to do here is we're going to ask Q again to help us go in and update our Lambda code to then incorporate results from the knowledge base when we call the Bedrock API. So now, in just a single call to Bedrock, we can invoke our model as well as retrieve related information from the knowledge base. In total, Bedrock gives builders the ability to very quickly build complex generative AI applications. And even more importantly, it can do so very securely. Q, as part of the solution, it helps you at every step of the end-to-end development lifecycle, from planning and design to writing code, debugging it, testing it, documenting it, and then even modifying and upgrading it over time. This is all baked into one GenAI-powered assistant with Amazon Q. And already, our customers are seeing phenomenal results at putting this to work. So one customer who's using this is the BT Group. And they're using Q already to provide 15 to 20 suggestions of code per user every day. They already have seen more than 100,000 lines of code that have been generated in just 4 months at using this at BT Group. And that's automated around 12% of the tedious and time-consuming work that their developers would otherwise have to do. So that's 100,000 lines of code that didn't have to be written, freeing those developers to focus on bigger issues. But even with all of these performance boosts and productivity improvements, the industry is still going to need more developers because we're still going to want to do more and more with technology, not less. And we can see all of this around us. There is just a soaring demand for AWS technology and skill in this region. It's why we're now offering free training to 29 million people globally by 2025. And we've already trained 21 million people from this. And we offer more than 100 courses and learning resources on all range of technology, from AI and ML through all of the core AWS capabilities. And this is all offered through our AWS Skill Builder and AWS Educate programs. And I am excited to see what people who are going through these programs are going to do. I imagine they're going to be transformative in the years to come and really be active members of the global community. Today, we have over 250 AWS experts in 54 different countries that have been recognized as AWS heroes because of their enthusiasm for sharing knowledge and really having a positive, tangible impact on our community. We also have more than 2,900 community builders and 500 user groups, of which we have 18 in this region, the Middle East, Northern Africa. And we have 75 cloud clubs, more than 75. One of the things that I'm excited to hear about are the AWS Cloud Days here in UAE. And they bring together technical builders from across these regions. And I'm excited to see new ones coming in every year. In fact, in the Middle East and Northern Africa, in 2023, we had our first female hero come into our Heroes program. And that person has since opened up a user group that's driving for inclusion of women across the community here in UAE. It's really exciting. Thank you. Now, whether you're integrating generative AI into your applications or building entirely new ones more efficiently, there has never been a better time to be a builder. And we may not have been around for the invention of the interchangeable parts or electricity or transistors, but those innovations all had breakthroughs that have transformed our lives and the worlds around us. And I believe what we're now inventing today and tomorrow will lead to a similar profound impact on the world, changing industries and changing people's lives. So while you're here at the summit, I really encourage you to take full advantage of all the material, all of the tools and solutions and partners that we have available to learn about AWS and how you can build the next experience, the next application. And I want to just leave you with one question today. What magic are you going to build? I look forward to seeing what you're all going to do and what you can accomplish and seeing you around the summit today in Dubai. Thanks so much for having me. Have a great day.
thank you for attending today's keynote presentation. Our breakout sessions will begin in 15 minutes at 11:45.